Want a smoother contour and more youthful-looking cheeks? Rediscover a younger-looking you by adding volume to the cheeks with Juvederm Voluma XC, part of the #1 selling collection of dermal fillers based on January 2022 provider survey data. With help from Juvederm Voluma XC and a licensed specialist, you can achieve a more youthful cheek look completely customized for your goals. For important safety information and to find a licensed specialist, visit Juvederm.com. That's JUVEDERM.com. Not for people with severe allergic reactions, allergies to lidocaine, or the proteins used in Juvederm. Common side effects include injection site redness, swelling, pain, tenderness, firmness, lumps, bumps, bruising, discoloration, or itching. There's a risk of unintentional injection into a blood vessel, which can cause vision abnormalities, blindness, stroke, temporary scabs, or scarring. Talk to a licensed specialist to find out if it's right for you.
We want to introduce you to Clinique's first foundation designed to be the last step in your skincare routine. Even Better Clinical Serum Foundation is formulated with 3 serum technologies that visibly reduce dark spots, brighten, and hydrate skin.
This one's really a game changer. The first time I used it, I realized I had to stop thinking about this product as foundation. It really is the serum. It's the serum step in your skincare, but it also has the tint so you don't have to do the foundation step. The serum is legit. It has vitamin C for brightening, and that's what I really noticed a big difference with. It's also hydrating, so you're getting brightening, hydrating, and it's smoothing. It helps to sort of retexturize with a little bit of salicylic acid. Oh, did I mention the UV protection? It's sort of like, you know how Jess, you and I talk about we need everything all in one? Here it is.
All in one. This hydrating foundation formula provides buildable medium to full coverage with satin finish. I love that it's oil-free, waterproof, and sweat and humidity resistant. It's available in 42 shades.
Find your shade with Clinique Clinical Reality Shade Match Science. It has a virtual try-on. You can't call this makeup. This is skincare in just your shade. Find your shade today at Clinique.com. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fat Mascara, a podcast about beauty hosted by me. Hi, it's Jen Sullivan and my dear vacationing friend, Jessica Matlin. In fact, you're only getting me for this interview because the opportunity to interview today's guest, comedian Whitney Cummings, came along while Jess was on her August vacation with her family. Obviously, I could not pass up the chance to speak with Whitney, who probably knows more about beauty and wellness than I do, which I learned from this conversation. She certainly knows more about skincare. She told me all about her famous skin oil that she makes, not to sell to anyone yet, I don't know, but just for herself. But the main point of our chat was talking about taking control over your beauty and health choices. Who controls or influences how you change your appearance or what you do with your body, and who gets a say in that decision? You'd think it would be just you, but think about it. Lots of decisions are dictated by others, especially if you're a performer like Whitney. And on that note, a bit more about Whitney Cummings, who is currently on an unapologized tour, is what it's called, as a spokesperson for Anovera birth control. Whitney is also a comedian, obviously, and the host of the Good For You podcast. Her latest stand-up special, Jokes, is streaming on Netflix right now. And in her spare time, she's an actress, a writer, a director, a producer, and she was the creator of a little show you may remember called Two Broke Girls. So we get right into talking about Whitney's face oil and skincare. I had just watched her make her skincare oil on Instagram. And then we have a great chat about beauty and wellness and, yes, birth control and vaginas. Just a heads up, if you don't feel like hearing about vaginas or you're listening with someone who doesn't feel like hearing about them, I wanted to let you know about that. I hope you enjoy the combo, and Jess will be back on Wednesday with another all-new episode of Fat Mascara. Whitney, welcome, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, thanks for coming. Do you make your own face oil? I just saw this on your Instagram, and I was thinking, A, good ingredients, but B, like that could have been a parody because that's what the beauty industry feels like. A little this, a little that, like very complex. But I was like, is she making a joke or is that her recipe?
Yeah, I really do. I've made my own skin oil for like almost 18 years now. And I mean, I think what we posted was a little bit of a trying to get it to TikTok timing. like way too fast.
I was like, because this could be a good joke bit if you wanted to go there. I don't know.
Yeah. So that I think was a little bit slapdash the way that we did it. But yeah, I've always just sort of made my own skin oil. And people always ask me what I do to my skin. And so I've been trying to just share it more and more because, there's some expensive products that I think are effective and lasers and stuff that are effective. But I think that when it comes to like general skincare, there's really a way to do it, just you and nature, for a very affordable price.
Okay, let's then talk about the colostrum.
Ooh, okay.
I was like, grapeseed, got it, cool. Other things, got it, cool. What is colostrum? I think I know what it is, and I want to know why you're putting it on your face.
Let me just Google colostrum real quick. No, colostrum is just like a natural way, basically like... It has like a little bit of like stem cell regeneration, elements in it. I would have to look up on alexjones.com exactly what it is. It's a form of milk.
You were not prepared for my first question of like,
no, I really wasn't
colostrum?
because I couldn't remember. Sometimes I do placenta and sometimes I do
but this is the cow udder milk thing, right?
Yeah, this is, no, there's these little, it's before it turns into milk. It's the first form of milk produced by the mammary glands of mammals immediately following delivery of the newborn. So you generate colostrum just prior to giving birth. It's just, it's like...
Is yours, this is not human colostrum. This is
No. But I think it's bovine. Yeah. But I don't do that with all of them. I think that, I just was doing one version that day. Sometimes it's DMAE, ester C, alpha-lipoic acid. I'll do.
Those are good, guys. I've heard about those.
Yeah, but they don't always mix with the colostrum. So the colostrum I'll do like 2 times a week, like before bed.
What do you think the colostrum does?
I don't know. I don't think that it necessarily, like, I'm not big on all of the, like, something topical is usually not going to change the chemistry of your skin in terms of producing more something, but it's from that biological research brand. And I did notice a difference in my skin after I had been using it for a couple months. I've really
So this is in other beauty products, not just Whitney's mix.
Yes, exactly. Oh, yes. No, I'm not farming out livestock in my yard. This is something Biologique Recherche actually makes the extract of it.
Okay, like a little booster.
Yeah, after I did it, the derma roller with a little bit of the colostrum and placenta over like 6 months, because I really like to isolate products. Because if you're using too many products at once, you can't tell what's doing what and what's working and what's not. You just don't know. Okay. So I did notice variable. I noticed a difference in my skin, so I just kept using it.
I love it. And I'm impressed that you make your own skincare for 18 years. Well done.
I mean, I use other stuff also. There's a lot of amazing products that I use, but this is just my before bed oil. I also reapply it in the middle of the night when I get up to go to the bathroom because I grew up with horses, and I just remember like my aunts and my mom, and they always would take such good care of the leather saddles. And it was my job to take care of the leather saddles. And they would always drill into my head. It can never be dry and it can never be out in the sun. And you have to oil it all the time. And then you want to over oil it. So overnight when it absorbs, it still needs to be oily in the morning. And then my mom once said to me, she's like, it's the same with skincare because this is skin. This is how you should be treating your skin as well. You shouldn't be putting it in the sun. You shouldn't be letting it be wet for too long. And it should always, feel like there's a little oil on it. So I just always did that. And then I realized that before we go to sleep, we put on all these incredible face products of feta, all these incredible, this vitamin C, drunk elephant, all these amazing products. And then we lie down and we put our face on the pillow, and then all the product goes to the pillow. So our pillows look very young, but a lot of times we don't realize that we don't even allow the product to absorb or to do what it needs to do overnight. So I sleep in noise-canceling headphones with something called a sleep crown, which is a pillow that goes around your neck and sort of keeps... So I sleep like a vampire in a coffin, but it works.
Okay.
Because my skin started getting better.
I had heard of silk pillowcases because then they don't absorb as much of the cotton. But I guess if your neck is locked in, then you're good to go.
So I basically sleep with my face, nothing touching it. And then when I get up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, when you're just like sitting there peeing, I've got a little thing of it next to the toilet and I just like slap it on. So I reapply in the middle of the night. I mean, it feels psychotic, but I really am into prevention, so that I don't have to do anything crazy and extreme
other than
later.
Treat your face like a saddle. I get it.
Yeah, why not? But I think that I also grew up thinking oil was bad,
Oh, yeah, we all did. We did like 1006 and like just suck all the oil away. Alcohol astringent. I was right there with you.
Oh, whoa. I was like Sea Breeze. I was like Oxy Pads, you know, and because my skin was really broken out for a really long time. I had really bad cystic acne. I went on Accutane twice when I was a teenager. And we learned that fat is bad. Fat makes you fat, and that oil is bad for your skin. The two huge myths that we lived with for so long. But because I had so many zits and so much acne, I was trying to dry it out, and it would just get worse and worse. And then I learned that when you put oil on, it actually makes it so that your oil glands don't produce as much oil, you know, because you're putting oil on yourself. So it actually really helped to beat my acne by using oil, which seems very, you know, anathema to what you think you're supposed to do.
I love that you're a beauty girl. It's great that you're here. And I love when we have people on the show, especially celebrities. A lot of them do not have as much beauty knowledge as you. So well done.
Well, my mom worked in Bloomingdale's when I was a kid. So I spent my entire childhood at beauty counters at Bloomingdale's and even Marcus. And I was like a perfume girl. And, you know, so I definitely, that was some houses are football, some houses, you know, are into basketball. Ours was skincare. That was our thing. Yeah.
And it's a choice too, because you have to like decide, I'm going to be doing a skincare routine, or I'm going to be getting a procedure or treatment or whatever it is. And I want to ask you about that because I know you are open about that stuff. Mm-hmm. But first, I wanted to ask you, is it my business to ask you this question? Like, we talk about this all the time on our podcast. Like, are we allowed to ask celebrities, famous people, what they do to their face, or like women in general, or should they not have to share that with us?
It's interesting. It depends on if they want to or not. I mean, in my opinion, most of them just became celebrities so they could start a skincare line at some point. So you don't get to charge us $60 for cream and not talk about your skin. You know what I mean? I don't know. I
You've
feel
opened the door.
Yeah. I mean, which is it? I think that, you know what? It's a case-by-case basis. How about that? My new favorite response to everything, which is like, it's, I guess, the context of it. You know, like knowing the kind of person, are they a kind of person that is usually super forthcoming? Are they someone that's usually really shy? Like, I would ask Jane Fonda. I wouldn't ask Kate Blanchett. I can't tell you why.
I did ask Jane Fonda, and she was forthcoming about it.
Would you ask Kate Blanchett?
She's got an SK2 deal, or she did. So I would ask.
Right.
Like, that's the thing. I feel like if you are doing a media day and signing on to do interviews with a media outlet about beauty things or health or whatever, you've sort of, like you said, opened the door a little bit. So
I don't know. There's so much shame around all this stuff. I just am not, I don't care. My thing is I like to share all my secrets with everyone all the time, to my detriment. Like, I'll share like a product I use that I put in my skin oil and then it's sold out and then I can't get it, you know? So it's like, I would want people to share with me. And I also think the more secrets we keep, the more we sort of engage in this shame sort of culture. And I think that like, if you want to do something for yourself to make you feel confident, or you should be able to do that. But yeah, for me, I think sometimes when I talk about my skincare and the stuff I do, it just really disorganizes people. So sometimes when I talk about it, it stresses people out. So I don't want to stress anyone.
I'm not doing enough. Whitney's got it all figured out.
It's not even that. It's just like, it's a lot of things that other people don't talk about because it costs like $30. And so it's emotionally expensive. But it's not, because I use a derma roller, which is like, you know, got little metal pricks in it basically that you roll all over your face so that you're, you know, I think that the beauty industries really make a lot of money off of going like, okay, you need a toner, you need the face wash, you need the cream, you need the eye cream, you need the neck cream. I just call bullshit on all that, you know? It's just like, so for me, using a derma roller also, if anyone is trying to sell you something without letting you know that the top layer of your face is mostly dead skin cells. So if you're putting expensive product where you haven't derma rolled or exfoliated, or half your product's not even going to absorb into your skin anyway. And this is assuming it's something that has an effective ingredient, you know? So the first thing I always do is derma roll. And then I think people are just like, wait, do you do it in the shower, out of the shower? Do you face wet? Like, people just have a lot of questions about that because no one talks about it because the tool's $5, you know? So it's just, no one's making any money off of it. So we never really hear about it. And then the other kind of, I don't do facials, which really confused. Like, I think people go like, facials, that's the thing. And I think it's a false sense of,
oh, I'm saving my money on all that to spend on the filler and the tox.
Great.
Like you said, I think the deeper, I don't know, I do that so that the bigger procedures, so I have to do less every day. I'm like backloading my beauty routine, you know? Filler, tox, all of that.
I think sometimes when we do something once a week or once a month, we're like, oh, done that. So for me, like I do it with my dental care. I'm like, I just have my teeth cleaned. I don't have to floss for 6 months. Like that's what I know myself. And I think that it's all about like daily maintenance and daily habits. And if I know I have like a facial coming up, I'll be like, I'll just sleep in my makeup. That's just their problem, you know? So it's also just like a huge time commitment and it's just so expensive. So the worst thing you can do for your skin or your health in general is stress. You know, cortisol, it destroys collagen. So it's like, if I'm stressing out trying to get to this facialist and I'm running late and then I'm laying there and I can't text her because my fingers are so slippery from all the freaking oil. I know a lot of facialists have incredible, you know, machines that I probably should be using. But a lot of times I'm like, I feel like I could do this at home. Like, I feel like I could have done this, you know?
Yeah.
Or I feel like I should have just used this time to sleep more.
That's exactly what this facialist said. She was like, behind the scenes, what's really happening? She's like, you know, you're paying for a nap. Because that's what happens.
But I
when you
can't
go to the
sleep during facials. But like one of the best things you can do for your skin and your health is take a nap. So I'm like, instead of driving door to door 4 hours to that facial, what if I just stayed home and took a nap? That might even do more for my skin. And I get to save $300 or whatever.
Yeah. So I was doing my research for this interview and I was like, okay, she's been open about some of the procedures she's got. And then I clicked on a page 6 article about all the celebrities that don't do Botox and all these things. And I was like, lying, because they absolutely do.
Yeah, but also who cares? Like it's just sort of like
you've gotten some of those things, right?
Oh, of course, yeah. I've talked about I get Botox, ding, 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 right to this side of my eyes. I don't really do it in my forehead as much anymore. See these wrinkles because I actually I'm doing more acting stuff, and so I originally only got Botox in my forehead because I got really bad migraines, and a lot of people have found success with that. It's not totally for me, but I need a little expression because I need people to know when I'm mad at them. I don't want to have to say it. So I need some expression, but there are some little things that you can really sort of prevent wrinkles. Like I think one time, I don't have it now, it wore off, obviously, on either side of your nose to see all these wrinkles on either side of my nose. I guess you can soften those. So I tried that once. I don't know if anyone.
With like filler?
Without just a little Botox, like right on either side, that little wrinkle. Because sometimes you go in and they just start doing stuff and you're like, But then it, and I was like, oh, it'll wear off in 6 months. So let me just see. But that really wasn't for me. And then I get filler on the side of my nose. It's this side.
Wait, why only one side?
Because my nose is really crooked and I didn't want to get a nose job and I don't care enough. And it was like, we can just, it was like, I think maybe twice. It might have worn off by now, so you probably can't even see it.
Why is your nose crooked? Is that like, was it a broken nose or you're just born this way?
Just born. Everyone's face is crooked. I mean,
we're totally asymmetrical. Yeah. You know that filter that makes you symmetrical and you look crazy?
Gross. A robot. So, and look, I don't care about it. I'm not complaining about my appearance or anything, but do you see how my nostrils are like very different sizes?
I guess. Yeah. So, it's funny. We see these things on ourselves more than others see them. You know?
I do not care. It's just when you see enough like, oh, Michael Jackson is back from the dead comments on your Instagram, you're like, oh, what's this about? And then you're like, oh, right. And then I had a couple comments. I was working on something about my nose from an executive. And it was like, oh, you can just fill this side in. It'll make it look less prominent. So there's a lot of, there's a lot of things that you can just, I remember one time I got a cortisone shot for my zits. Like if you're on a TV show and you have a big cystic zit coming in, or if you have a big meeting, or if you're getting married, if you're, have a wedding coming up, or you have a big event, your engagement party, whatever, and you have a big zit, those ones where you're like, this is going to be a 2-week freaking crater. Like it hurts to touch. I'm going to squeeze it too soon. You can just get a little cortisone shot. I also have the topical cortisone. It's might be 4%, but check. It's prescription only, but it's a topical cortisone where if you have a zit that's really about to make your, it's your one vacation week, you're on your honeymoon, and you're just like, why this week, Or like when we were wearing the masks, like I was so broken out just everywhere, so that really helped. But one time I did cortisone in a zit or 2 zits right here on my chin. I used to always get them right here. I think it was from talking on the phone. And I was about to do something, so I got 2 cortisone shots. And if you get too much cortisone or go to someone that doesn't know what they're doing, it can actually make like a recession, like a hole.
Yeah.
So it's
because it's addictive, because it works so well. It gets rid of the pimple right away, and you want to just keep going back for more.
Here's what you can't do, which is what I used to do, is that I would go to one doctor, and because this is how insecure I was about my skin, and they'd give you a little, and I'd be like, I don't think that's enough. And then I'd go to someone else, and then Oh, because in LA,
like doctor shopping for prescriptions, you did it for cortisone shot.
100%. And there was this place called, I think that they're everywhere now, but there's a place in LA that's like a quick skincare place. It was called Colology. You could just go in and like, it was someone that actually had a medical degree, but it was just like real quick. It was like Starbucks for zits or whatever. So I probably had a business now. I'm starting to think it was a scam, and I need to put a pin in that and research it, because why is it out of business? I need to look into that.
Or maybe we don't want to know. Yes.
There's a very strong chance that I should like look into what was actually being ingested in, or injected into my skin. So then I went and had to get filler to fill up the holes, that I had made.
Yeah.
So there's other things that like filler can do. I have a dent in my side from being kicked by a horse, and they're like, well, you can just put a little of this in. I'm like, oh, cool. Like there's, things that as I get older, I mean, I'm obviously not like, I need to get all this stuff so I can be on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Like, it's all for me so that I can be naked and walk around in a bathing suit and just feel good. Like my next thing that I want to do is like scars. So see these, like all these scars, like I have tons
like on your chin. Yeah.
I have them everywhere from like dog attacks and dog bites and stuff. And I found out you can
for our audio listeners, you just contorted into I don't know what position, but she has scars on her shins, people.
I just got a scar trying to show you my scars. That did hurt. But you can get tattoo. You can get a tattoo that's just like
the
color.
pigmentation.
Yeah.
Yes. Are you going to do that?
I think so. Why not?
I know someone that did it for stretch marks, and it looked really good.
Great.
Yeah.
I know people that are putting filler in their hands. Because I think that is like for women, the idea that I have to wear, going out, put sunscreen on I wear gloves when I drive. I mean, I wear fingerless gloves. It is psychotic.
Do you wear gloves when you wash the dishes?
Always.
Oh,
I kind of rinse them and put them in the dishwasher. But yeah, well, if I have nail polish on, how about that? So here's what I do. Before I wash my face or before I wash my hands, I've got a little pump of oil, and I'll put grapeseed oil, and then I'll do the dishes if I'm not going to put gloves on. But if I have a manicure, I think that's more about like screwing up your manicure. But getting in the weeds. But I do think that it's like, I think that I'm very pro, okay, if someone is 18, I mean, I got breast reconstructive surgery when I was 34, I want to say. I had to do it again because the first person kind of botched it, and then I had to get it sort of correctively fixed. But it's not like I don't know what to say to someone who's 18 years old and wants a nose job. I'm not qualified to wait. I just don't know. I didn't do any of this until I was liked myself, had been in 13 or so years of 12-step programs, therapy. Like I wasn't doing it to get a man. I wasn't doing it to fill a hole. Well, I did kind of fill the hole in my face. But I wasn't doing it for my self-esteem. It was like, oh, I've lived with this for a really long time. And like, yeah, why not? Like, why not? Like, why can't I?
Came to it from a healthy place, which is what that stuff is about. If it's your choice, it's a choice you're making for yourself. But you mentioned, and I wanted to ask.
Sorry, really quick. Can I just go in a little mini thing before I forget it? Which is, I push very strongly back on this whole thing of if a woman gets work done, she got work done and da-da-da. And if a woman doesn't, she's busted. And old. So it's like, you can't win either way. So you might as well do whatever the hell you want and love what you see when you look in the mirror. Just make sure you're doing it for the right reasons and go to someone that's certified, because to me, this whole thing of like, I saw something, I think Cameron Diaz is just the most beautiful human and person. And I just love the way that she's navigated her life and career and, kind of done what she wanted to do. And she'll disappear and come back and, does whatever she wants. But whenever when she first got on Instagram, people are like, oh, she looks old. You're like, no, that's what she's supposed to look. You're just used to everybody that has Botox. So the people that did get it, you're judging them, you're making fun of them, you're calling them, names, whatever. And then when they don't do it, you're calling them busted and old. Like, you're not going to win either way as a woman. So just check in with yourself and like whatever makes you happy, just do it.
Because society has sort of set these standards by the people that are getting that kind of work done. It's weird.
Because also we get less sleep. We age faster because we're freaking tired.
We're stressed out.
And it's a nightmare.
And we're looking at ourselves. I mean, 50 years ago, we didn't see this many pictures of ourselves. Like there wasn't
high-def television. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. But you also have to like do the work to make sure that you're not in your dysmorphic stuff and obsessing over things and like, but I just really think our instinct to criticize women's choices. It's interesting. It's like, it's always, and it also is like, not to get political because I really hate getting political, but it's like, I see people, my body, my choice, but you got Botox. It's like, okay, so I'm not allowed to choose you know what I mean? Like, what is this thing where we have to find a way to shame women no matter what? Like, it's like never ends. You know, I'm exhausted. I sleep 3 hours a night. Like, yes, if I want to get a little bit of Botox because I've been sleeping 3 hours a night for the past 20 years, I'm going to do it with my own money and make whatever decisions I want. So it's like, I just really push back around any of that shame stuff. Like, how dare you?
We want to introduce you to Clinique's first foundation designed to be the last step in your skincare routine. Even Better Clinical Serum Foundation is formulated with 3 serum technologies that visibly reduce dark spots, brighten, and hydrate skin.
This one's really a game changer. The first time I used it, I realized I had to stop thinking about this product as foundation. It really is the serum. It's the serum step in your skincare, but it also has the tint so you don't have to do the foundation step. The serum is legit. It has vitamin C for brightening, and that's what I really noticed a big difference with. It's also hydrating, so you're getting brightening, hydrating, and it's smoothing. It helps to sort of retexturize with a little bit of salicylic acid. Oh, did I mention the UV protection? It's sort of like, you know how Jess, you and I talk about we need everything all in one? Here it is.
All in one. This hydrating foundation formula provides buildable, medium to full coverage with satin finish. I love that it's oil-free, waterproof, and sweat and humidity resistant. It's available in 42 shades.
Find your shade with Clinique Clinical Reality Shade Match Science. It has a virtual try-on. You can't call this makeup. This is skincare in just your shade. Find your shade today at Clinique.com. Yeah, I hear you. But you are in a position that's different than most women in that, like, your job is performing. There's other people involved in these decisions for you. Like you mentioned the producer that said something about your nose. Not that he's going to dictate, or she, I hope it wasn't a she, dictate what you do to your face. But like, if someone's like, oh, we're going to have to do a lot of work at post if Whitney doesn't put on this kind of makeup today.
That's happened. Yep.
Do you, when you're working, let's say it's TV or movie, not like a stand-up show where I assume you're in control, like, do you have to change based on other people's expectations of what you're going to look like?
It kind of depends. It kind of depends, you know, because I think that, like, I mean, in general, this is a very, I really want to think before I say this, because I was reading something about, did you see that in France they started covering like Botox or covering some stuff because...
Oh, like insurance-wise?
Yes. That because they go like, oh, like, you're more likely to get hired because here's the thing. If other people are ageist, why do I have to take the high road? Do you know what I mean? So if you're in a situation where it's like, if it's between me succeeding in this thing and getting this job I want, and they think that, and getting Botox will put me over the edge, it's like some kind, like, we're at such a disadvantage. And then when we take one little shortcut, we're still at a disadvantage. So why can't we just take these little shortcuts so it's like slightly less unfair? And I feel like as soon as women are actually the women they want to be, have the lives that they want, have the partner that's not going to, you know, deplete them, you know, that's the time. Like, I think we get better as we get older, but then this biology thing kicks in, and I can't control that our people are ageist and sexist. Like, you can't change that. You know, that's not going to change in, like, before your interview tomorrow. If this, because they had some study that said that, like, it was auspicious in the hiring process. I don't know exactly what it was. It's not saying everyone should do this, but it's like, if you believe that you're in an unfair situation and this is going to give you the advantage that you deserve or need, that is your personal choice. When it comes to me being on like TV, it is tricky because I'm like, oh, I don't want to set some example, but also so much is being changed. You can do so much with lighting. You can do so much with makeup. So I'll usually just start with that, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm working for other people, you know? So that's the other thing is that when I'm on my podcast, when I'm doing what I do, I always am like, I don't wear makeup. I try to be like super authentic. I'm super honest about everything I do. But, you know, it's okay to want to look your best. And people don't try me with stuff like that anymore. And I have not had to be in that situation in a long time. And I think that that's dramatically changing. I mean, you just saw what happened with the Annie Leibovitz, you know, the way she photographs people of color. Like, it's a big reckoning, and I would love for someone to give me feedback on my appearance. Because I love the story, but it has not happened in quite a while.
Yeah. But so you mentioned stand-up, like, or your podcast, not wearing makeup, but like, isn't there something to makeup, like giving you a little bit of like I'm putting on my game face? Like when you do a stand-up special, how vulnerable, I mean, for me, that feels like the most vulnerable thing you could ever do, get up in front of a bunch of live audience. Mm-hmm. Is there like a hair and makeup thing you feel like, okay, I'm good to go because I did this?
Yes. Yeah. So it depends. Like I'm not, when it comes to wearing makeup on the podcast or not, I kind of just like to show that we can do it. If you want to wear makeup and play around and have fun, that's great. But there's other times where I'm just like not going to wear makeup and you go, ugh, she looks like she just went through chemo. It's like, no, it's just me without makeup on.
No, that's
it's
normal.
okay. Yeah. I can do all. Like I want people to know the difference of when I'm wearing makeup and in good lighting and when I'm not. It is dramatic,
Yeah.
But also your question was about,
when
what
you're
I
doing
do.
like a live set. Yeah.
For me, just making sure, honestly, it's always just making sure I'm not too shiny and that I don't blind the crowd with my forehead because I am always so lubed up and I put so much oil on my face all the time that it's just a matter of not being so shiny that I look like a jellyfish that's like being distracting.
And fashion-wise, though, I noticed this, like you often wear like a jean jacket or like you have if you didn't have that, are you like one of those people that like, okay, if I forgot to tap my foot 3 times, I'm going to have a bad show? Like, is that part of the preparation process?
No, not with me. Mine is more like a very...
I got to be funny.
No, please. There's like a deep... Like, we all, I think, have this in ourselves. I think the only thing that I try to go like make sure is I want to make sure... Ugh, this is so gross, but it's something that I'm still deprogramming. But I also don't think that it's, totally I think it's kind of professional. You have to think, how am I going to be perceived? Number one, am I going to be able to move really well? That's something I'll do backstage. I'll be like, can I move? Can I flip over without showing my belly? I don't like showing my body on stage. It's just distracting. It makes me feel insecure. So I like layers. I also sweat profusely on stage. So I also have to have kind of a baggy jacket. So that's sort of the logic of that. So it's really just making sure I can move around and nothing's going to unzip or pop out or fall out. I wear a sports bra. Like I'm very belted in.
Yeah.
For me, I still struggle a little bit with like, I don't want to make myself small or dim my light and all that. But I also don't want any women in the audience to think I'm like I'm not their friend. And I know that and it's not their fault, but I know that when I was younger, when I was 22, I was insecure. And I had gone to a comedy show with a guy and the girl was like, if I felt like she was trying too hard, I'm not saying it's a healthy thought, but I definitely would have felt a little insecure. So I try to just go, you know what? Everyone's at different places. And let me just I just want everyone to feel great and I don't want anyone to be distracted. So I really do try to like keep it very simple and it's such a sport to me. I do try to make sure nothing feels like sexy or like I'm trying, like I have to check in with myself and go, what are you dressing for? Because I still have this thing of, I always have to dress so that men think I'm attractive. It's so ingrained in our brain. Like, this isn't flattering. It's like, well, it's comfortable. But so I have to like sometimes check in with
but attractive for society, but not so heterosexy that you like that becomes the shtick and takes away from what you're trying to say.
Well, yeah, because I'm also
freaking line that we have to sort of.
And I'm allowed opinion. I'm about to say my opinions for an hour. Like, is this gonna make like how do I balance what I'm wearing? Can I disarm with what I'm wearing? Because I'm so insecure that I'm about to be so sexually unattractive to men for the next hour because I just yell my opinions. Do I have to offset it by looking cute? And, so I do have those little battles before I go on stage, but they're shorter and shorter now.
What about hair color? Like you've had a bunch in the last couple of years. What makes you have a change? Is that like life change? Now we got to change the hair color. Are you one of those people like break up, cut it all off?
I don't know how I got that I'm this person because I've never been one of those.
I will not give you that label, but I'm just pointing out. I noticed you've tried on a lot of hair colors.
Oh no, it's just shocking to me because I was never a hair color person. Like I was never like that until I was literally like 37. It's just a weird time to get into like playful hair colors. And it was during the pandemic. I basically a lot of my friends are hair artists and they were just losing their jobs. So I was like, let's just do something. And then we were just sitting at home and I take being an entertainer very seriously. And I think, on a daily basis, how can this be more compelling, more visually interesting, more whatever? So the idea of comedians were so ashamed to exist. And if you try to shine, people, like your brain is like, who do you think you are? You're such a narcissist. Like, how much attention do you need? That's kind of can be my inner monologue a lot of the time. So I'm like, people are at home. This is a really depressing time. When they're scrolling through Instagram, they're going to scroll right past. If they see pink hair, that might just be more fun. Why not just be the clown?
Yeah.
I take being the clown very seriously. The problem if you are a childless woman in her 30s with blue hair, everyone thinks you have a drug problem. So it was a big education in how little fun women are allowed to have and still be taken seriously. So
yeah, and forget when the roots start coming in, because then you've gone to the next level with your.
As soon as there's a root, you're a full you're on fentanyl. They'll just call the police if you have any roots whatsoever. So I then for me, I like to double down even harder. Because then I was like, okay, if this is gonna be a thing, then I'm like, great. I'll have blue hair. Great. I'll have purple hair. And then seeing people react to each one was interesting. And I think it's really disorganizing for people to see a woman that is having a lot of fun and doesn't have shame. The reactions were very interesting.
Do you think still, because we're about the same age, I'm a little bit older than you, and I'm so jealous of this generation coming up of women that I think we fix some stuff for them, that they're not going to have that inner monologue that you're talking about? You don't think so?
Yeah. No, I like that. No, I agree with that. I totally agree. That is really funny. And then we'll talk about Aloe Vera, because this is a big part of sort of this.
That was literally my next question.
Okay, good. Yes. Because just as you said, we fixed a lot of stuff. That's the thing. It's okay, now I'm on the birth control that I wish existed when I was freaking 20.
Yes,
they have all this stuff that we worked so hard to get. My thing on that is exactly. It's when someone, there's these awesome new, movements forward to change your inner monologue, not be negative about yourself, not self-deprecate. I think that's all awesome. But for people that ship has, you don't get to tell us that. We didn't grow up with Beyonce. You don't get to tell us how we see ourselves and how, the filter thing. I did a joke about this in my last special, actually, about when they're young people, filters are toxic, for the young people, they get dysmorphia. It's okay, that's fine. But I aged myself trying to help the next generation have self-esteem, so I get to use the filter. I'm grandfathered in.
Kids.
Yeah. The only reason I look old is because I didn't sleep because I was trying to make your lives better. So now I get to use the filter.
Thank you, Whitney.
You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Doesn't apply to us.
Jen,
you know what I mean?
Z.
I think there's certain things where you're that's for you. You're 20. You certainly should have a filter.
I did it to my elder. I'm not even going to call them elders, though. I remember coming up and my boss was like, "Why are you doing?" You cannot put yourself in that 20-year older than you person's shoes. It's a different generation.
Yeah,
so
it's a totally different. It's you do what you want to do. I'll do what I want to do, and let's kick it. We don't have to tell each other what to do on the internet.
That is choice. That is what I'm coming here letting me grill you about.
I'm pro-choice, but you shouldn't use filters, and you shouldn't get Botox, and you shouldn't be dating that guy, and you shouldn't.
But choosing your birth control, do I want to have a permanent thing and non-permanent thing?
Yeah.
Is it just this month, not what? So I'm assuming, you tell me. You're coming on my podcast because you're working with Aloe Vera, this unapologized tour. Is that sort of one of the reasons you wanted to work with them, to let people be more comfortable with that?
Yeah. So, because what I didn't realize is such a big part of skincare, self-care, all of this goes together. If you're someone that is taking such good care of yourself, you're going to the gym, you're getting your facials, you're doing all your skincare, but then your birth control situation makes absolutely no sense. It's depleting you. The side effects are incongruous with your goals or how your brain, whatever it is. I wasted so much time, so much energy in gyno's offices, in line at the pharmacy. I tore all over the country. So it was I wasted so much time, energy, serenity on, I'm in Pensacola and I have one more pill and I got to get it was just I got to set my alarm so that I take it on the right time zone, because now I'm in a different place. And if I don't take it, I'm going to get a migraine.
I never even thought about that. Yes.
Oh gosh. And then it was I've just been through hell with birth controls, through my skin, everything. So it was talking to you sort of was because I remember back in the day when you would be oh, I'm going to go on this birth control because it helps your skin. Remember, there was just all this craziness.
Yes.
And lies. And now we're at a place where finally there is this birth control. It's called Annovera, and it is annual. So you just only have to go to your gyno once a year, not every month to get the renewal. You don't have to call, like no rigmarole, and it's reversible. So I'm also at a place in my life where I'm like, okay, I want kids at some point. I definitely don't want to have them before I'm ready, but I've frozen my eggs.
I love that. I love that girl in the video in your that you did for Annovera.
Yeah.
I don't want kids until maybe I do. I was like, oh my God, that's literally every friend of mine in their 30s.
But we're all in this place where it's like, I might book a job, or I might have something going on, or, you know, people have your wedding, whatever it is. And then you might go, okay, I want to be on birth control through this, but then I want to unfreeze my eggs or I want to get pregnant then. And then it has to be, you know, then it's actually reversible. So like with other birth controls, it was like, if you wanted to get pregnant or something, it was like, well, I have to go to my gyno and get this thing removed. Like Annovera is completely procedure free. So you don't have to go in and put anything in. I won't say the name of it, but I had a birth control put in that was like an IUD, and it was a very bad experience. Like I got really sick. It wasn't for me. And I was like, how is this the best we can do? Because I feel like I'm in Christian
got one lost
Grey's
in me.
base.
That was a fun time. Let me just tell you, the minute that thing goes in your cervix and gets lost, you know. I had to go to the doctor to...
Nightmare.
It's not normal. I talked to your doctor, all the whatever medical disclaimers we're supposed to say.
Of course. And then whatever.
Even Whitney and I are doctors.
Even if it had stayed put, who knows? You could have got struck by lightning at some point. You could have rusted. I don't know. Like there's just been, I've gone down a lot of paths that, you know, were not ideal, but I also feel really lucky because, especially like talking to you in the beginning of this conversation and this like sort of unapologetic take to the way I move through the world. It's taken me so long to not constantly apologize for my existence, for my choices, for being too big, for being too small, for being this, to being that. Like we're just so wired to apologize for everything. And I think, you know, we're at this time where, you know, women's reproductive choices it's more important than ever, but you know, we're not giving birth control. There aren't enough birth controls available that are easy enough. So I'm just excited to be talking about one that is, you know, annual, procedure-free, reversible, and like easy. Because I used to be like, birth control is just like such a hassle. I'll just have them pull out. Like by the time, you know what I mean? Like they make it prohibitively hard. So.
And if you're a hetero and your partner, like they don't have to do shit. That was when I was younger. I was just like, wait, why is this all on me?
Yeah. And I think that in general, just this like not being apologetic about, you know, what you put on your face, what you do to your, you know, whatever makes you happy. Like, you know, they came to me and I've had a lot of people, you know, come to me over the year, like brands and stuff. And I'm like, you think you want to work with me, but you really don't. Like, are we really going to walk the walk? Because I'm not, you know, they were like, and we say vagina. And I'm like, am I going to get on set? And you guys are going to be like, can you just say like tulip or like your Pikachu or your special, like, yes, like your hoo-hoo, yeah. Like just if we can't, how are we supposed to get medical care and advocate for ourselves if we can't use the medical definition for the part of our body that is the most under attack at all times in every way? It's just like we all have to act like children, being like, my bunny, can we, like, let's be adults about this. So,
well, on this podcast, even we're on a mission to let people know about their vulva because there's so many products that are for the exterior and people call that your vagina. And it's like, they're different things. Mm-hmm. So yeah, thank you for sharing in that goal with us. Oh my God. Did I just hear a dog shake out, by the way?
Yes, you did.
Oh, I love that sound. It's like my favorite sound ever.
Yeah, my little baba.
Hi. Before you go, I have a speed round for you. I've prepared just for you. This is the end of the Fat Mascara. We do 5 questions.
Yes,
easy
ma'am.
Peasy. A little beauty, and the last one is birth control related. Just get ready.
Oh, great.
Okay, so we love fragrance here at F&M. What's your favorite scent? It can be a regular smell or a perfume or a candle or just like a food. What's your favorite scent?
Oh, wow. This is a tough one. CK1.
Oh, a classic.
No, I think it's actually lemon. I really like citrus smells. This is all old stuff, but remember this Love's Baby Soft Lemon? I started rebuying it. I know. I would say lemon.
They didn't change the packaging. It looks the same.
I collect vintage perfume like from our childhood.
Vintage. That's so cool. Yeah. All right, for our next podcast. So lemon is the answer. Mm-hmm. Okay, best beauty treatment or like spa service or whatever it is you ever had, like worth the money, I would do that again.
Ulthera is a laser.
The tightening, like the... Yes. Okay. Good to know. First beauty product you ever fell in love with?
Noxzema.
Mm-hmm. Okay. A famous person, celebrity, politician, whatever, whose cosmetic work you would really like to know the truth about. Like, what did they really do?
I mean, God. Kate Blanchett, probably.
Okay. And then in honor of your Anna Vera Unapologized tour, please tell me the worst euphemism you've ever heard for the vagina.
Meat curtains.
Oh, I can't end our podcast on meat curtains, Whitney.
Beef curtains? I mean, there's two.
Okay,
I think
that's fine. I actually didn't. I was like,
axe
what's she going to say?
Axe wound is one.
Okay, maybe I shouldn't put that question last, but I love it. I love that you.
I know, but we have to say it.
No,
I mean,
right.
it's just
I
like,
shouldn't be embarrassed. It's the
it's
unapologized.
disgusting.
Like, this is the way people talk about it, and we're going to change that, and that's awesome. Thank you so much for coming on Fat Mascara.
Thank you, Jen. You're awesome. Thank you, ma'am.
We hope you enjoyed the show.
It's your reviews and feedback that help us make the podcast even better. Head over to iTunes to rate and review us, or email your thoughts to info@fatmascara.com.
We also want to answer your beauty questions and hear what products you love. To share a Raise the Wand product review or to ask a beauty question, email us at info@fatmascara.
If you send it as a voice memo file, we can even share your voice on the podcast. You can also do that by leaving us a voice message. Our phone number in the United States is 646-481-8182.
Thanks so much for listening.